What's up, FTFers? You know, sometimes things just don't go the way that you think they're gonna go. I had a video plan. Then I got a text from Chris that something was on its way to me through the mail. So we're gonna have to do the video that I planned some other time now. I only got 3.5 miles out anyway. I was planning on doing 8 today, so it looks like we're just gonna do 7. Well, that's okay. Being flexible and adaptable is the name of the game. Plus, I've always got something up my sleeve. There's plenty for us to talk about. You can't always control the things that happen to you, and so the only thing that you can control is how you react to them. So the number one thing that I see in classes when I open it up for discussion and I ask, okay, what are your survival priorities? Most of the time, people understand what those are. What they don't always understand is how to manage them. For 14 years, I intentionally placed myself in harm's way so that others may live. And a lot of times they understood what they needed, but they just didn't know how to do it. And because of a long string of bad decisions, they ended up in the place that they were. So I'm gonna ask you, what are your survival priorities? Go ahead, pause the video, write them down, and then unpause it. The majority of you out there probably wrote down shelter, water, fire, and food. And that's a really good start. That's the core 4 priorities. But depending on who you talk to, I mean, there are other priorities as well. For example, somebody in the military is going to say, well, you can have all the resources in the world, but if you can't defend and hold them, they're worthless. So defense should be your highest priority. Well, that's very true, but that's definitely not in the core 4. First responders like me will tell you, well, first aid should be pretty high on the priority list. I mean, what if you have an arterial bleed? You might have seconds, maybe a few minutes, and then it's game over. That's also not in the core 4. If we could go back in time and talk to the guys from the late 1800s like Dancy Beard and Horace Kephart and George Washington Sears, they would all say rest, the ability to repair, recharge, and rebuild your body. That should be a high priority. And we can't forget things like signaling. Are you going to self-rescue or are you going to shelter in place? It's probably a good idea to be able to signal for help. And that leads into communication. Do you have your phone? Do you have your GPS, your GMRS, your FRS, your ham radio? What about ground to air signals? Do you know those? And if a scout was here, they would say that your number 1 priority is a positive mental attitude. And I would argue that they are probably correct because your mind is your greatest survival tool. I think the problem is that we as humans, we always want to look at things in list form, and we need some kind of mnemonic device or an acronym to help remember all of this stuff. And that's why people say the core 4. That's why they bring up the survival rule of 3s. The thing is, I agree with them to a point. 3 seconds without air or circulation, yeah, you might have a little less than that actually. 3 days without water. I can tell you from personal experience that after 1 day of going at it hard and having no water, wow, it's like all you can think about. You're not going to sleep very well. You're definitely not going to be able to thermoregulate. And like I said, it's about all you can think about. And thirst is a very powerful motivator. The one that always gets me is food. People always put it way down on the priority list. You can go 3 weeks without eating. 3 weeks? Well, I know after 3 days, I'm not really wanting to do anything. A lot of that has to depend on like what kind of diet you're on. Are you on keto and you're in ketosis, or is your brain working off of glucose? But the reality is that your body needs calories. And what if you're hypoglycemic or diabetic? Wouldn't food become a priority then? What it really boils down to is it's all based off of situation, environment, and the scenario itself. Sure, our core needs are the same, but we may not need them in the exact same order. So instead of looking at it like everything is in list form, what I look at it like is like a pizza or a pie chart. Let's take, for example, right now. I mean, what is my priority? Let's say something really bad happened and here I am. I've got to do whatever I've got to do to survive. Well, first, I'm in a pretty safe environment, so I don't have to manage any kind of life threats right now. Probably the best thing that I could do is just stop. Stop, think, observe, make a plan. If I go by, the conventional wisdom thing right now, they would say, well, you got to build a shelter. No, I don't. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's not about to snow or sleet or rain or, it's not super windy. About the best thing I can do to regulate my core body temperature right now is just stay in the shade and drink plenty of water. Last time I ate was about 7 hours ago. I'm actually pretty good. And because I'm mobile, I don't have any kind of life threats, then that means that I have the ability to move. So I might want to self-rescue. I know this area pretty good. If I keep going that way, then I'll run into a church. It's about a half a mile away. If I need to get water, there are several water sources all around me, so that'll be pretty easy. If I go back the way that I came, it's going to take me several miles, but I'll eventually get back to my vehicle, which has even more supplies. Whoa, there's a Japanese hornet. I do not like those guys. We'll put our sunglasses right here just in case we got to use our fly swatter. I also know that my phone has cell phone reception here, so I might check in with the family. If for some reason I did get stuck out here, then I do have plenty of food with me, so I know calories are not an issue. And here comes somebody. Always keep a lookout. How's it going?
It's a different trail here, I'm guessing.
There's 3 of them. You can go around like the white trail, like this is the white trail right here that you're on. And this is just a loop that goes back to the white trail.
This is a loop on the white trail, or this one here?
You can either go this way, which is you're staying on the white trail, and there's a loop right here that goes.
I think I'm doing the loop. I think it wants me to go right this way.
Yeah, a lot of people go that way.
Yeah.
You'll run back into this trail though.
Okay. Well, I'll see you later then.
Yeah, man. Have a good one. Be safe.
Thank you.
Depending on what kind of emergency it is, obviously you might want to stay away from people, and we are fully exposed here, but there are plenty places to hide here. As far as dangers in the area, I mean, you've got all the stereotypical stuff like the Japanese hornets, wasps, you know, yellow jackets. There's scorpions and ants and ticks and fleas and all the flying mosquitoes and all the things I absolutely hate. There are snakes too. There's 6 venomous snakes here in Georgia, but 2 of them are not here. The coral snake and then water moccasins. Probably the greatest threat there is going to be timber rattlers or copperheads. Also got to watch out for self-injury. I do have some medical supplies with me, so if I were to get injured, I would be able to treat most everything. Now we do have mountain lions, we do have bears, we do have hogs here. As far as sign goes today, the only thing that I have actually smelled in here were hogs, and that was a little bit further that way. You can smell hogs big time right here. Let's see which way is the wind coming. Over there's a wallering spot right there. There's another one right there. It is strong right here too. There's a trail right there. I used to get so excited when I would smell that smell. And all these people that are walking this trail, they have no idea. They're literally within 25 yards of us. Seriously, right over in there, just down. Golly. I couldn't shoot one right here though, unless it was self-defense. But I'm armed and I don't have to worry about it. Now we can talk about scenarios till we're blue in the face. The whole point of this is you need to stop after you've mitigated any kind of life threats, and you need to actually like think it out. And I don't mean do this in a couple minutes. I mean like literally sit down and think about it. Let's say you didn't have any food. Maybe food is the priority because you've got to start planning to get it because you know it's going to take a long time for you to get. Now, what if you don't know anything about foraging? Well, then your next bet is small game and fish. But do you have the supplies to make that happen? Do you know how to bushcraft the things that you might need in order to make that happen? Understand things like, you know, making trap sets and all the cool stuff that we show. It takes time, it takes energy, and it takes resources. And that may be stuff that you just don't have right now. So you might actually have to like really look for it. This brings up another point, which is possum mentality. You need to always be on the look for something that you might possibly need in the future. If I didn't have anything, then I would probably go up on the shore and I would start looking for hooks and line that have been left behind. I already know there's tons of resources around here where I could build a fire. I know that I could find worms, crickets, tadpoles, whatever. So I know more than likely I could be fishing here within probably an hour if I really wanted to, even if I didn't have all the supplies on me right now. But that's just one priority of survival. We got to be thinking about all the other things, and we got to think about how we're going to manage our time. Because once you realize there is an emergency, the clock is ticking. And a lot of people may be saying, well, that is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, why would you be worried about food right now? Well, I've literally got everything else that I need. The two things that I'm going to run out of the fastest are water and food. As long as I'm careful and I'm mindful of my circumstances, I mean, I could go for a long ways out here. But if you don't have the calories and you don't have the water, you're not going to be thinking or making very good decisions, I promise. A lot of people say you can't see the forest through the trees. A lot of people are stuck in the little picture. They're not thinking about the big picture. And the thing is, the very first few moments in an emergency are the most critical ones. That's when you start making decisions, and that's when you either go the right way or the wrong way. Understand, we are only talking theory here. The question is, have you actually got out there and have you practiced? If I were to practice right now, it would be a lot easier than if it was for real. There's a lot to be said about real stress. So maybe you get out there and you limit yourself, or you intentionally place yourself in some kind of scenario or situation just to train. I don't guess it would be a YouTube video without an airplane. You might be sitting there and saying, oh yeah, I got all that covered. It's not a problem. Have you actually proven that to yourself? Only you know the answer to that. Definitely wasn't the video that I planned on making today, but it was a good opportunity to talk about this stuff. But if you're flexible and adaptable and you know how to shuck and jive on the fly, then leave me a snide remark in the comments section. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And until next time, y'all, keep fueling those fires. Man, I guess I'm only gonna get home if I actually start walking. It's only the hottest part of the day. Need to get some more water too. Did I actually spit on my pack? That's gross.
The world is getting more dangerous and unpredictable every day. Your family's safety depends on how prepared you are. For just $7.99 a month or $74.99 a year with 2.5 months free, Survival Dispatch Guardian membership gives you powerful tools and resources to stay ready. When you join, you're automatically enrolled in the Survival Dispatch Emergency Notification System, and you'll get critical alerts fast. You'll also get an invite to our private, high-traffic signal chat where members and experts share breaking intel. Guardians receive all 37 of our Survival Dispatch Insider e-magazines, normally $9.99 each, a $370 value, plus early access to our exclusive instructional videos before they go public. Join thousands of like-minded Americans who refuse to be caught off guard. Become a Survival Dispatch Guardian today at www.survivaldispatch.news/subscribe.